So case 2, wherein we have a composite section of a beam where the centroidal axis of the composite section does not pass through the centroidal axis of the individual each of the section. Our usual practice is to convert this composite section either into an equivalent steel section or equivalent wood section, where your depth is retained but your width is changed. So this composite section can be converted into equivalent steel section by changing the width of this wooden part of the section, or it may be converted into an equivalent wood section by changing the width of the individual steel sections. So now let us take a case where we convert this composite section into an equivalent steel section. Now since moment of inertia of steel is equal to m times the moment of inertia of wood, at any particular layer, the width of equivalent steel section will be equal to the width of wood section upon m. This is so as to have equal moment of resistance of equivalent steel section. So using this relation, we convert this composite section into an equivalent steel section where the depth is totally remained of the steel as well as the wood, whereas the width of the wood is reduced by an amount given by this relation, and this part becomes your equivalent steel part of this equivalent steel section. Now we can say that this much width of a steel section will have same moment of resistance for this much width of wood section. So now the moment of resistance of this equivalent steel section, which is also equal to the moment of resistance of this total composite section, will be given as moment of resistance of composite section is equal to moment of resistance of equivalent steel section, and this is equal to sigma max of steel upon y max of steel into I of equivalent steel section. So we use this relation to determine the moment of resistance of the composite section when the centroidal axis of each of the section does not pass through the centroidal axis of total composite section. So let this equation be equation 5. So if you convert this composite section into an equivalent wood section, our section will look like this. So this is our equivalent wood section. We see that the depth of all the section is retained, whereas the width of wood is retained and the width of steel has been converted into the width of equivalent wood is equal to m times the width of actual steel. This means that at any particular layer within this equivalent wood section, so the moment of resistance provided by the equivalent wood section at any particular layer within this section will be equal to the moment of resistance provided by this actual steel section. We now plot the variation of bending stress across the depth of the composite section and of case 2, wherein centroidal axis of composite section does not pass through the centroidal axis of each of the section. So for analysis, we have converted this composite section into an equivalent steel section where a wooden part is converted into an equivalent steel part of width given by the formula. So now if you consider the steel part, at the extreme top layer, this steel part is subjected to maximum compressive stress. So plotting the maximum compressive stress as shown in the figure. Also at the extreme bottom layer, the layer is subjected to maximum tensile stress. So let me plot maximum tensile stress on the left hand side, and at the neutral axis the stress is 0 and the variation of stress is linear. So let me plot the variation of bending stress. Now the figure shows the variation of bending stress in the equivalent steel section. You'll see that from the extreme top layer to some distance up to the depth of this steel section, your variation of stress has been shown in blue lines, which represents the stress in the actual steel part. Similarly, on the opposite side, from the extreme bottom layer to some distance up to the depth of this actual steel section, it is represented in blue line. Whereas for this green equivalent steel part, the variation of stress has been denoted by this green line. This denotes that this is a variation of stress for this equivalent steel part. However, we know that for this part we do not have steel but we have wood. Now we know that at any particular layer y, the stress in wooden part is equal to stress in steel part divided by m, where m is the modular ratio and it is positive value. So at this layer, if the stress in steel is here, then the stress in wood will be somewhat lesser value and it will be given by this point somewhere here. Similarly, below the neutral axis also, the stress in the wood at this layer y below the neutral axis will be here, and the variation of bending stress in the actual wooden part will be as shown in the figure. So your actual bending stress variation curve of this composite section will look like this, where the solid blue line and yellow line denotes the actual bending stresses, whereas the line denoted by green denotes the stresses in the equivalent steel part of this wooden section, which is not real and it has been substituted only for a analysis. So with this we complete our flitched beam. Thanks for watching in 5 minutes.